Boom. Namaste, welcome everyone to Satsang this morning here in Rishikesh. And of course, a huge welcome to all of you who are joining us via broadcasting wherever you are. Big welcome that we can participate in Satsang together in real time like this. So thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, you can do.
Hello.
Hello.
I just want to take this opportunity to check in with you and to maybe vomit a little bit, if that's okay, and I just apologize if it's messy. I've just been really sitting with what you said yesterday when you talked about the apprentice, and I really zipped myself up in my sleeping bag and really watched how that scanning went inside my own being and allowed it to expose any kind of seeds of arrogance and strong resistance within me. And the shame around that resistance is so intense because I love you so incredibly much, and I love the Sangha so incredibly much that to have this resistance against something that is so burning inside every molecule of my body is so painful, and
I want to say, don't take ownership of that so much. No? Also day before yesterday, we were walking, few people together, and one boy came up and he said, "Please, I'm sorry, please forgive me." And I said, "What has happened?" And he said, "Because just this unexpected anger came up in Satsang, and I just felt a lot of anger and hatred towards you." And I said, "Don't worry about it. Don't take ownership of it. It's a mechanism that happens actually because I pointed, that there are opposing forces working inside the human expression of consciousness. We are discovering, perhaps for a long time, you were not so clear that these forces were operating in quite the way that you are coming to see them now. And why do they come now? Because you have applied for freedom. You say, "I wish to be free." You must already know what you want to be free from or free of. You have a sense. As soon as it begins to awaken within you that there is really a possibility, when you've heard about awakening or enlightenment, it may for some people seem like just a kind of spiritual fantasy, but you're having the sense that maybe it is possible. And to that extent, you're open towards whatever it takes to come fully into the truth of yourself. As soon as this happens, it seems like these forces are triggered, especially a force within us that seems to want to keep your attention fixed on temporary things, just on your bodily existence and your personal concerns and attachments and so on. You see? And it can go worse than that. It can just manifest as intense frustration and anger and bitterness, and you may be surprised by the force of them. At the same time, there's another force that is within you that is somehow a call towards evolving and to raising at to higher altitudes of consciousness. And so it seems like some conflict is inside. And if and when you come to the place that I'm pointing first, that you begin to observe these forces rather than to go with the reflex to just identify with them. Because the minute you identify with them, it's as though you are put in the position where you're taking responsibility for them. They feel like, and you speak like that. You say, I feel so ashamed, as though it is something that you have done. But you are just becoming aware that these things come. And sometimes, for what reason, you don't know. You see? So rather than tell you, that's not very good, and you shouldn't, I don't say that. I just say, you are aware, and you're becoming increasingly aware of the forces that function within your system of consciousness. That some are good, some not good. The more we are identified personally with our body and conditioning and such things, the more susceptible you are to be influenced by the negative forces also. Because the nature of the ego is it tends to be a quite unstable and insecure state. Selfish also, and easily become fearful. And if you are in the position where, especially I was saying earlier, that when something is new to you, that you don't know, very rarely you will view it in a good way. There's more the tendency to be a bit suspicious or to put it down if you feel challenged by it. You can begin to observe these more than identify with them. There's a reflex in us that tend to identify with these energies. When they are negative, we feel down and angry and frustrated. When they're positive, we can sometimes become proud and also arrogant, But I want to avoid that traffic jam altogether, because I think we can waste a lot of time fighting with these energies and not getting very far. And I want to tell you why we don't get very far. Because we are missing something, which is that as long as we are identified as a person, these forces are more operative. They function for the person. This is why sometimes I will ask you, who is this voice speaking to? Like, you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're too young, you're born in the wrong place, all these things, And something is believing them and reacting with them. So what is it that's reacting with them and believing them and suffering them? We are inclined to say, it's me. It's me, it's happening to me. And it is happening when you come to see, it is just happening to your self-image, to who you believe yourself to be at the moment. But this is not the fact of who you are. Coming to satsang or following any authentic spiritual path is a step towards deconstructing many, many concepts that we have absorbed, and they begin to be exposed, the unreality, the untruth of them. And the more that we are identified with personally, the more we tend to believe these things. You see? They're not actually born out of experience, you see? If I were to say to you, for the rest of the day, speak only of the things that you know and you have experienced. Speak only from your experience. You see? You may find that you go out, and if you have to mix with people, you either find you don't have much to say if you speak from your own experience. And after a little while, it will feel unbearable if you are limited to speak only from your experience. You will just won't be able to stand it. You will start to make things up. Because that's what we do. We are used to just, people say something, you believe it. You read something, you believe it. And so this leads to a kind of contamination and an overload of your system, because it's not the best use of your mind and attention, you see? So I'm only pointing these things out, and now I'm going to say to you, when these things arise, as they do, I am calling your attention to say, start just observing them, but don't go with the tendency to want to get rid of them. That's a reaction, a very understandable reaction for something that you may find unpleasant. So if a reaction comes to kind of avoid them, you'll see from the place I'm asking you to look in yourself that you can simply just observe that, and observe even an urge to avoid or to get rid of something. Just keep on observing, but with detachment. That's the key factor, no? That as you continue to just observe and don't get personal with things, you begin to see with a deeper level of understanding and clarity. And the more you are kind of attuned and in tune with what I'm asking, just observe for a bit. But even if something feels like it's very personal, don't combine yourself with it. Just be the observing. This is a very, very, very key step that will happen within you, that you start to recognize that these thoughts can come like an invitation to participate in some activity, and if you don't join up with them, if you don't log in to this thought functioning, you feel that they don't actually affect you. They just thin away if you stay out of combining yourself with them. So this simple act of observing, but observing with detachment, is one of the first great steps of transcendence. As you keep on observing, but without getting pulled into the scenarios that you are seeing, then I say, start to observe or to be aware of what it is that is observing. But don't give this to your mind. Don't ask for the mind's help or opinion. Just say, something is observing these things. Okay? Is it observing with interest? You can begin like that, Are there some things coming up where the pull to engage with them is stronger? You see? You will notice that. But still don't connect. Don't log into them if you can. And if you do that for a while, initially you might feel quickly tired because it feels like you're really trying to stay out of something. But I'd ask you to persist. You don't have to, maybe after a little while you have to stop and... But gradually it becomes easier and easier to observe without logging into what you're seeing. And if you succeed at doing this, you'll start to experience a sense of expansiveness in your being. You'll feel very happy that you're not so easily pulled into the noise of what you're seeing. You're learning to not take or experience life personally. The more personal you are with your experiencing, the more quickly you'll come into a kind of noise. If I ask you, try and see or understand what is actually perceiving all of this impersonally. You see? You may say, I'm confused, I don't know how to do this thing, you see? Huh? What is doing the seeing and not being involved in it? And don't give it to the mind. Just keep quiet and try to understand the question. And the question will begin to search you, to scan, to find if it can find the one who sees, the one who is observing. And don't underestimate the power of this simple exercise. This is what I've been pointing many people to do, like that. Okay? So earlier stage is that something is reacting to this kind of, and you think also, perhaps if you didn't come to satsang, you wouldn't notice the noise in your mind. But the minute you come and you begin to, as though something wants to go more deeply, it's as though you stir up some hornet's nest inside your being, and the mind is like some turbulence come. So I'm asking you, don't try and get rid of this turbulence, just learn to observe it like you're observing it, you are just observing someone else's behavior. Just try and do this. You can just watch the thoughts, watch the reactions and so on. But at the same time, stay detached as much as possible. Then you may share with me what you discover, you see? And whether that discovery is worth it, you know? Okay.
Can I share something else with you?
Okay.
Yesterday morning, it was very, very strong reactions of resistance and these types of things. And the stories that I feel like I would have gone with in the past, it was like what you said with the hand clapping. There just wasn't. It was like bouncing off, and it wasn't me doing anything to have that happen. Like I feel like I wasn't doing anything, and it was kind of just showing like God was showing me the possibility, and it was really beautiful because there wasn't this connection between my emotions and the story and what was happening outwards. And so I'm just really grateful for that experience.
And today?
And today, I feel like it was very important to come and speak to you about it, because I feel very strong today. Like there's a lot of courage and a lot of strength inside, and I feel that was really, really beautiful for me to come and speak with you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I see you in the blue shirt? Not a minute.
Thank you, Muji.
Thank you.
It's not a question, it's a kind request to you, Muji. Please help me to find experience. I don't want so much knowledge. I have been tired, really tired with reading, listening, so much stuff. Please finish my seeking, Muji. Please help me.
It is understandable if you have been reading a lot, studying a lot, and perhaps not at the end of it. You may find that I've studied so much, I've seemed to learn so much, but I'm lacking in experience. You see? Many people will say like this, no? So, and yet you're asking, I want to be finished with this trouble. I want to be finished with it. I am not inclined to want to give you a lot of things to learn. You see? Because how far from you is the truth that I have to send you on a journey? How far would the truth be? If I say, okay, the truth is in Rajasthan, I say, okay, you're going to have to do something to get there. But how far could you imagine that what you're searching for, do you have to make a journey to get there? Where do you think it is located that I have to tell you so many things about it? If I'm going to tell you so many things, it may leave you with a sense that there's a lot to do before you reach it. That is not my experience, you see. Actually, for myself, you are the truth, but you're not aware of it. We are more aware of yourself as your body-mind functioning. I say functioning because the body-mind functioning is taking place, and an awareness in you observes that. But it needs to be that you consciously recognize that. Don't throw my words away and say, oh, it's more teaching, it's more knowledge. Because this knowledge is going to cut knowledge if you follow. It's very simple what I'm pointing. But if you say to me and limit me to say, okay, help me but without words, okay? So, okay, I am helping you even in my silence. I'm offering this. But are you fit enough to converse with me through silence? So I'm not going to give you homework and a pile of books to read. You say, help me I want to be finished off with all this stuff. I don't want to go on to another course of learning. So that's a nice challenge for me, but don't limit me too much. Don't restrict my way of working with you. I can only tell you, we'll find the simplest way, the simplest pointing, you see. In a sense, what I'm trying to do is to put a kind of mirror in front of you, not just a physical mirror, that you can see what I'm talking, see yourself in what I'm saying. But it's not enough for most people. So I have to find a way how I can guide you to see the thing that you imagine you are separate from. So right here as you are standing now, I'm not going to ask you to do anything, okay? Right as you're standing there, I say, I'm not going to ask you to do anything, but if I were to say to you, the thoughts that come in your mind, your imagination or desires, that activity which is with you at the moment, don't hold on to them. Is possible I can speak to you like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So though they may be somewhere floating around, don't hold on to them. Don't treat them like your treasures. Don't treat them like they're so important. Try just for a moment just to be empty of them. In the most simple way. Just like I'm talking with a child. Say, don't hold on to anything. Just be, don't carry anything. So right now I'm asking that you don't accept that you are a container of memories and self-definition, knowledge, and I say just don't combine yourself with anything at all. You can listen to this?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. And if I ask you also not to expect anything from me. Don't expect anything. Just for the while we are talking.
Okay.
Don't expect, okay, he's going to give me now, he's going to give me now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Put your hand up. No. Don't expect anything. Just be empty. And even the sense, okay, I've done this, what's next? Don't touch even the feeling of next, so that you don't go forward. You're just here. Okay? So I'm not asking you to make anything, or to create anything, or to go anywhere, or to touch my feet, or nothing. You are just here, just as you are, okay? Not making any great effort. I'm only asking you certain habits or tendencies maybe to hold on, and anybody can participate in this, by the way, because I'm not going to go through this with you one by one. So jump on the train if you can. So I'm saying this to you. So just as you are here, first just be empty of everything. So even the desire for enlightenment or anything, or want to be free today, just don't pick that up for a moment. So tell me what remains now as you are standing there. What does inside of you feel like right now? Just by what we are talking?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Okay. Is there any disappointment around this nothing?
No.
No. So just in this sense of nothingness, the mind may want to come and make some judgments about that. Like, well, okay, is nothing. Okay, so what? So whatever the mind may come up to say about this nothingness, like, okay, so what's the point, and we're not getting anywhere, don't pick up that either. Just stay in this kind of nothingness, okay? Just like this. Did you create this nothing?
No.
No. Are you practicing nothing?
No.
No. So just you are aware. There's nothing, emptiness. There's no judgment about the emptiness. There's no disappointment about the emptiness. There's not the next thing from emptiness. You're just here, just like that. There's no waiting for what is going to be next. You still with me?
Yeah.
Okay. If a thought come and say, yes, but that's not what the Bhagavad Gita say, and that's not what you're supposed to do, and where is God, and all that, just stay empty. Empty, but not waiting. Just you're here. Are you dead?
No.
No. You're here, you're not dead, you're empty, not waiting. Just pay attention. Your senses are working fine. You didn't have to suppress them. So you can hear maybe the voice of a child crying somewhere. You can hear some things are going there. These things are disturbing you?
No.
No. If I were to throw you an apple, you could catch it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Without thinking, how do I catch it? You just catch it.
Yes.
So, if I said to walk down to the end of this room and go outside, you can do this
Yes.
without anything changing inside or not?
Yes.
Yes. Do you feel anything is wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing is wrong. Do you think anything is needed? Right now.
Your grace.
Where is my grace? In the nothing. Does the nothing say, I need grace? And that nothingness is grace. Watch the mind. He wants to come. He wants to say something like, But don't engage. Don't engage. Don't fight.
Okay.
Don't run. Don't create. Don't explain. Simply pay attention to how you are. How you are and what you are right now is what I am. Do I need to expect what I'm going to do next? What I'm going to say next? At 7 o'clock tonight, where do I need to be? Do I need to be concerned about anything at all right now?
No.
No. Has your life stopped?
Yes.
That's good. We're going to try and understand what that means, okay? You're not dead, but your life stopped mean what? What it mean? Is that a bad thing?
No.
No. Just keep like this. Just stay like this. Is it an effort to stay like this?
No.
No. Is there a feeling that something important is missing?
No. Nothing.
Nothing. This is the answer to your question.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
now, if I said to you, okay, that was just an exercise, okay, go back and pick up all the things that you had before believing, what you're going to do? If I said that was just an exercise, it's finished, you can go back to how you were before, what you're going to say to me?
Don't know.
Huh? Is it possible to be how you were thinking before? How you are feeling? Where is this mind that was thinking before, oh, I've done enough study and I just please, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to study anymore, could you just give me this thing? Where is this mind? Is it like a monkey waiting to jump back on your shoulder or something?
No. Right now, no.
Say?
Right now, no.
Let's fast forward 1 hour later. Really look from here, because you can look 1 hour from now in terms of your feeling. Is something going to change? Can the emptiness, can the nothingness go away?
No.
No. Did it come here from somewhere?
No.
No. And you are what? Are you something in the nothing? Or are you the nothingness itself?
Nothingness itself. Thank you.
Can it be this simple?
Yes.
Yes. It can be this simple. What's going to happen? Habits of mind, old patterns are going to start coming back in. But you can see them, you can get the feeling, oh, I see my mind is coming up again. Is any trouble? Stay as the emptiness.
Yes.
Yeah. Mind is going to say, well, that was nice. That was nice. But let's get back to reality. That's fun. Muji just give you spiritual Disneyland, okay? You can go anytime you want. I want to hear from you. What is your response to that?
Ignore the mind.
Ignore the mind.
Yes.
Yes. Suppose the mind come when you're trying to sleep and go blah 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 blah. I'm going nowhere. I'm going to stay with you. What you going to do?
Again, just ignore.
Yes. And if you get tired of ignoring,
No, nothing.
when you know in your heart that being nothing is not something you're doing, you have discovered that today, that this simple thing, that many people are studying hard for, they're sitting in caves naked and they're beating, to try and be nothing and not succeeding. But you did nothing to be nothing. How did you do it?
Nothing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there's a lot of ands which signify lots of somethings still are here. So they didn't make the train. Okay, so you want to come? No? You say? Okay, good. When we speak like this, and sometimes the mind says, now it's his turn. Okay? When am I going to get, no. And then I go, yeah. Okay? But if you hear and follow, because it's nothing personal, the guidance and the discovery that has happened here is the same discovery that can be made right where you are. But the mind says, no, I want to have my own discovery. I want you to talk to me. So this feeling of me is then very strong. That's not me, that's he. This is me. Guruji, can you talk to me? Then that's going to be very difficult for me. Please speak now. Don't take it personally, okay?
Namaste, Guruji. I've been following your pointings, and life is beautiful with that. I feel I have wings, but not fully opened still.
You say again?
I have got wings, but not fully opened.
Not fully opened.
I listen to your pointings.
Did you come to the place of this emptiness?
Yes.
What does openness or not openness mean to that emptiness?
Nothing.
So why are you talking about not being open?
Because I can see the pattern every time I follow, I listen to you, I catch my identity, and I can see I'm doing that only. And again I'm going, moving ahead. Maybe
so
that
from the emptiness, were you somebody in the emptiness? It's very important, you see. I went to emptiness, and then I came out of emptiness. So they say if you multiply anything by 0, then any whatever number, it is just nullified into 0.
I feel then, I heard you saying yesterday, it's a delusion I'm into. Maybe I'm getting into that delusion of that emptiness rather than being into that.
The delusion of emptiness would only be if it is said so by the mind. If the mind say, yes, I can see the emptiness, I can see that I am the emptiness, and, that's what I am really. Please believe me, And then I know it's the mind speaking about emptiness. Is emptiness speaking about emptiness?
No.
No. So, this is why I ask you, because you say, I have been following the pointings. I want to ask you, where do they lead? If you follow something, then where does it end? You cannot just be pointing. At what am I pointing? Have you been to this place? Am I pointing in any direction that you should go? Or am I pointing to something which is not at the end of a journey?
I feel self-inquiry makes me go to my mind. If I'm staying
You
here,
being what that go to your mind?
my mind. But if I don't do self-inquiry, then there
When I was speaking to this brother just now, were you listening?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get anything from it?
Yes, that nothingness.
What you get?
That nothingness.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yes. Where are you keeping it? Is it a possession? Is the emptiness a possession? Because if it's a possession, you're going to lose it. If it's something you create, it probably is going to get damaged. If it's something that you have, you may lose it. So when I point to this emptiness, what is happening with you? Is there a you who found emptiness, and now you have to make sure you take care of your emptiness? Is it like that?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, then it's not it.
Yeah.
You see?
I feel
Something is still holding on to the sense of identity that wants to accomplish something, and then to say, I accomplished that. So there is still a duality there. There's still the you who had the experience of emptiness, but it went away. How can I get it back again? And you are not challenging yourself. You are not allowing yourself to be challenged in this. You see? We want everything, but you offer so little of yourself for that. You want to be the one who gets it. And I'm pointing out that your idea of yourself being held onto stands in the way experientially of the intuitive and natural recognition of what you are. This sense of I is not being tackled. It wants to be the achiever. If it achieves something, it has not gotten out of the way. It remains or survives as the achiever of the thing. So there's still a duality in you.
That's why I feel very happy when some pointing comes. I feel, yeah, wow, so much. I feel so happy. So who is happy about it?
Maybe the mind. Maybe the mind and identity feels like, I really enjoy that. I really am getting somewhere. But I'm asking you for a little bit deeper, come a little bit more inside, where you're not wearing in the uniform of personhood, so that even the sense of your person feeling good or bad about something becomes sort of like an image inside the seeing itself, that you can see, oh yes, I can see that my mind is playing these pictures. But this seeing itself, is it being done by a person? Is this seeing coming from some eyes? The seeing that I'm speaking about, is it there's some eyes seeing something? Because a blind person can follow my pointing and say, I see it. Are they seeing an object to say, I can see it? Am I pointing to a form or a shape or a size or something that you can say, I can see it? So what kind of seeing is this? So I call it a non-phenomenal seeing or recognition, meaning that it's a recognition of something which is not an object. It is like the subject becoming aware of itself. Is that saying too much? Again, the sense of yourself, the strong identity, the sense of the identity of the person seems to be saying, I want to find the impersonal, the ultimate, the infinite. But how can the finite discover the infinite and remain the possessor of the infinite? Even at that level, it don't make sense. What it means is that the finite sense gets merged in the infinite. But sometimes, if you have identity, what I'm saying can produce a little fear in you. Maybe the fear of the finite is that, wow, to become infinite, I'm going to be spread so thin. And I like being me. I just want to be me and be free. I want to be the person I am who discovered the great impersonal thing. Does it make sense? Only in the mind this kind of craziness makes sense. But as you begin to look, and I'm not saying you keep looking, you're going to get a divine whack or something, and suddenly you vanish, and then Miss Buddha is on the scene or something. I'm just saying, if you follow your being as the capacity to follow what I'm saying, not follow with steps, but just follow with seeing and understanding. And in this seeing and understanding, a discovery happens. What is this discovery? Is it one thing discovering another thing? No, it's the thing discovering itself. Is that too much thing to say? If you give it to the mind, then the mind will blah, 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 blah. But if you really follow, you see, well, wait a second, but it is so. It's so simple. Sir, I ask you, has it gone away what you have experienced before? Has it gone away now? Yeah, just stand up. Has it changed or is it the same? Same. Is there a way that I can say to you, in 1 week's time, you're going to lose it or something? Would it make sense to you? It is permanent. Look how he's speaking. He didn't say, I think it's, no, he said, it is permanent. That's the authority that comes with real seeing. He's not speculating. He has seen. And that seeing is sustaining itself, if you want to say even sustaining itself. It is constant unto itself. Does it need somebody to look after it? No. We're down to one syllable answers, and we are not speaking, yes, but maybe if, no, it's mind, you see. Now it's your turn, I'm speaking with you. I'm asking that sense, you see. The person sense comes up. The person wants to understand. The person and mind, they go together. They want to understand. But both the person and its mindset are relative expressions. They're not the infinite self. The infinite self doesn't want to learn anything. It doesn't need to learn anything. It is beyond knowledge. But where is it to be beyond knowledge? Somewhere out there? No, right here. So why do I say it's beyond? It's not beyond in terms of distance, it's beyond in terms of subtlety. In the subtlest seeing. You see? So the person is speaking, but the person can be seen. The vastness that is seen by the mind is not the true. The vastness in which the mind is seen, that is the true. Again, the vastness, the infiniteness that the mind perceives is not the true one. The infiniteness within which the mind itself is seen, that is the true. As long as we hold on to personal identity, something is protecting it. It doesn't want to be challenged. When it comes a time that you say, but my person itself and its behavior and so on, itself can be seen, then we are moving in the right way. I can see the sense of, I can see my mind construct, I can see the sense of my behavior, I can see my identity is strong, I very much feel like I'm a woman, and I'm this, I said, okay, these are, categorizations of the self. They are perceived. That which perceived them, does that have those qualities? You can answer that. Or have you gone blank? You've gone blank, no? Yes. Gone blank. Blank is also seen or not? See, if you go blank and then the mind says, call off the search, mind's gone blank. But I said, no, but blank also is seen. Awareness cannot suffer blank. So this mind has gone blank is inconsequential to the seeing. So this is again another thing. You are reading the mind to see if the mind is comfortable, if the mind is still on board. You see, these things is happening. Okay, let's leave it like that for now. Let's leave it like that for now. You have to be ready to give birth today.
I want to take birth today. I want to come out of it. I'm tired of this, getting into these identities and recognizing these identities and then feeling like an achiever.
The tired one and its identity are both phenomenal appearances on the screen of consciousness being watched by your very self, the self which is not trapped in the bubble of the things you are describing. Nothing can trap the self. What can trap the infinite?
Nothing.
It is just speaking from habit, 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 you see. And the mind, the sense of the person, is fighting somehow against this opening. You may ask, why is it doing this? Life, this is nature. You have to overcome. This is a game of transcendence. If you're holding on to the sense of the person, which is something that you can let go of and still be very healthy to look at it, what it is. To see if the person disappears, does it mean you disappear? Some the awakened beings, their person have disappeared. They forgot all about their person. And because they forget about themselves as a person, the whole world cannot forget about them. You are remembering yourself, so we stay, like there's a fear. That itself is a delusion, a fear that something is going to happen to me, and what the fear is, that something might affect my attachments. You're attached to some ideas, some identity, and whatever threatens that sense of attachment, something is protecting it, you see. I'm asking you, are you not aware of all that scenario? Are you trapped in the bubble of any scenario? Are you in the box or outside of the box? And that will determine what I can say to you next. Are you in the box of the things that you're talking about, the situations? Are you trapped inside the box? Or are you looking at the sense of a box with an idea of yourself trapped in it?
I'm out of box. Every concept I take to see myself, I get trapped in that one.
Yes. The I that gets trapped in that or is trappable is not yet the true I. That which is aware of the sense of an I that gets trapped, is that one trapped?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Are you less there, or are you more in the one that feels trappable?
I'm there. I'm there. No concepts are needed for this.
Say again?
No concepts are needed for this I sense.
Yes.
No concepts are needed.
Yes. No belief.
No belief, no nothing.
Yeah. No special practice to observe. Observing is happening very spontaneously, very naturally. Whatever appears, you're aware that it arises in front. It plays in front and it passes away. That which observes the coming and going of any phenomenon is that itself coming and going.
I was there. I don't want to. I'm not there now. Coming in.
That which is aware of the traffic of sensations or thoughts or feelings is that when the feelings come and go, do they pull that away with them? Or is it not that you are there to observe those feelings have gone? I am the witness of the coming and going of them. That which witnesses the coming and going of anything, does it come and go? Relative to the things that it sees. The only thing that may stand in the way of a deep grasping of this is the persistent sense of I as a person. Because the I as a person may still be left with a feeling of frustration, saying, yes, you still don't answer me, please take away my frustration. So the very pointer I'm making, it probably is not coming through deeply enough. Please sit for a moment and just keep listening, because I'm speaking same thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I see you for a moment? I'm coming back to you in a moment.
Namaste.
Namaste.
And pranam to you and to all the master and the unseen forces that are supporting us so much. In primis Ganga Mata. So, I met you in Zmar 2 years back.
Yes.
And I received the invitation.
Yeah.
That has been a key step in my sadhana. Because when you say abide in the self, is an experience that I knew in my sadhana in the previous years, but through your spiritual authority, I came to know, not only to experience. I recognize, I got the knowledge from you.
Yes.
That are me,
Yes.
that are the self.
Yes.
So now I need your help, your checking, because the position of the two birds, like yesterday you spoke, is clear to me. And when I leave the first bird and I leave the witness of the second one, what remains is my existence. I am, I exist. And you said 2 days back, this is a subtle vibration in which the consciousness takes place in the body. And this gives me a new knowledge about myself. I understood as much I can the word of Anandamoyi Ma when she say, I was the same as a little girl, I was the same like a woman, I will be the same when I will leave my body, because this sense of continuity is what is in the I am, I exist. So 2 days back you invite us to go, you said also the I am can be seen. And going...
The I am can be seen as what?
In a sense, as this kind of vibration
Yes, yes.
in myself. I don't know. in
So,
myself.
therefore, you come to understand and to see, because the knowledge and the experience are one.
Yes.
The knowing and the being are one. So, at that place of what we speak, the absolute and absolute, no, it's not a doing place. It
Yes.
just is.
Yes.
It's not even being continuous.
Yeah, yes.
Okay?
Yes, yes.
So it's not like it's being continuous. It's not doing continuity. It just is. Okay?
Yes.
And that is grasped by itself. It is spoken of from consciousness who is speaking on behalf of the Absolute, which doesn't speak in that way.
Yes.
So at the same time, you are experiencing your dynamic existence from the place of the I amness, that which is able to function through perception, to have the sense of space and time and change and exchange and action and reactions and interactions. All of this functioning is taking place in front of a living intelligence.
Yes,
Yes,
but when...
at the same time,
Yeah.
this living intelligence is unfolding in front of the Absolute, which is not, it is not apart from it.
And is not having any content.
Yes, it does not have any content.
Yeah, but for me, if I can describe, the only word for me is stillness. I don't feel any tremendous joy like you speak many times, happiness, you will find happiness and tremendous joy. I don't. For me, stillness is a more closer. And I was in my room, I contemplating because to reach Ananda, in a sense. But Ananda, I was thinking, was happiness, joy, and I don't find joy. I find something without no joy, no sorrow, no happiness, no unhappiness. And maybe I thought this maybe is Ananda, to be in a state where there is no else big joy.
Stillness is not different from silence, is not different from contentment, is not different from joy. If you say bliss and then the mind says bliss, and then you may say, I don't feel bliss, but I feel silence. Maybe you are free to experience and call your experience whatever. You may say there's a silence.
Yeah.
You see, in this silence or this stillness, there's a sense of completeness or contentment. Contentment and joy is not different. Contentment and love is not different. You see, it's like at a certain point, everything boils down to the single DNA of consciousness. If you say that it is peace, or kind of someone may express it's a joy, if someone may express it's just wisdom, it's okay. Because the words are all become kind of one thing actually. If all the words in all the languages could be boiled down to their quintessence, what would it be? What name would you give it? Some might say is. Someone may say awareness. Someone may say perfection. You see, it's okay, it's okay. It's none of those words. But because of that dynamic quality of awareness in the form of the I am, and then there's room for this play of words you can say. But it's not just in the words. In the words, if you want to convey through words. But we are not going to stop with words. The words are only an indicator of what it is. They are pointing to something, but the finger that's pointing cannot touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Sat, Sat, Chit, Ananda, and
you may call that the fragrance of the self. You can call it the nature of the self. You can use these kind of words. I would not get too tight about them, because otherwise the mind creeps in and starts to create subtle differences, and then we start to argue about the differences when there's actually none.
So when we speak about the I am, the sense of I exist, and you invite us to go a little back, I don't know how to say.
Yes, deeper? Or
Deeper, and in the invitation, in the end, you speak about isness.
Yes.
That
It's
isness,
just a word.
Yes, I know, but just to clarify myself, this isness is deeper that I exist. Is a question.
Yes. Because we are not talking about quantifiable things.
Yeah.
We're talking about that which is beyond shape
Yeah.
and design, and beyond weight and so on. So several words can be used for it. Still at the same time, somebody will say consciousness, another one will say, no, it's pure awareness. Another one will say, what's the difference? Then you may have to then, quantify. You have to say, well, when I say the word consciousness, I'm meaning here that dynamic functioning of perception. I'm calling this consciousness, but I can also call it consciousness mind. Then I may use the term absolute consciousness or pure consciousness, and I create a subtle difference, meaning that not an abstraction, but that thing which is so pure, it is beyond even the concept of purity. So how do we grasp that? Well, because you are that. You see.
And is even behind the concept of I exist, I am.
Yes, they are just symbols for something that cannot be described. It's like looking in a mirror. The mirror is not describing something to you. It just reflects. And the intelligence deduces something from that reflection.
Yeah.
Is this useful? Thank you.
So I have a demand to you. I have a demand to you. If I can come to Monte Saja.
You put me on the spot there.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Well, for such answers, it's better that we just, of course, yes.
Thank you.
But, well.
This is enough. This is enough.
But what it means, only simply,
Yes.
there's a little procedure that
Yes.
you may speak with Shri a little bit about
Okay.
it, because she takes
Yeah.
care of the timing of how things
Yes,
go
sure.
and so on. It's not that, because sometimes people say, oh, it's so difficult to go to Monte Saja. I say, no, Monte Saja is made for you. But because there are limitations in the way the numbers of people can come, the accommodations, because we live in the bush. It's not we live in a town and then like Rishikesh has got many guest houses. We don't have like that. So we have to be careful when we say yes, but it's a question of timing and we work like that. So
Yes,
please,
sir.
you can speak with Shri.
Yes.
But of course, I would love that you come.
Thank you very much. What I understood is that follow the truth. And so, for example, in this day, doesn't push to see you, doesn't push to stop you on the way, on the road, and this. Always, all what has to happen is happening. So, with this attitude, I will speak with Shri for Monte Saja. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Atom. I'll just take one moment for a minute because I'm feeling something calling me to look at something here. I don't know what is here, but Muji, I am very glad you came to Rishikesh, though I wish I could be there. I need help with waking up. I had been listening to your satsang for the last 2 years or more. It definitely ended my suffering. I am not able to see or perceive anything beyond that. I can see the stillness, but the person I is the one perceiving it. So I can see the stillness. Who is it? Chitra is saying, I can see the stillness. How you see stillness? Is stillness apart from you to see it? So I can see the stillness, but the person I is the one perceiving it. Who is saying the person I is perceiving it? Isn't the person I also perceived? I want to know if these things really are connecting with you, or are they going into some kind of clever head system. If they are connecting with you, then it has to bear fruit. It has to bear fruit, because I've not come here, I'm not a sophisticated guy, I don't come here to exchange concepts and to go. It has to be practical. So when we speak like this, they should create movements where things are being pushed out and things are just realigning themselves and you're feeling the benefit. And I know it happens. I know it happens because by spending time together with the beings who have come to Montesaja and we spend time in this, the old energy field of the place has changed. And some people, even one of the friends were with me, he said, actually when I first came to Montesaja, I couldn't believe it. I feel all these people must be pretending to be happy. I've never been to a place of people like this. But after a while I saw that it was just the way it is. How long you can pretend to be happy for? Have you ever seen somebody pretend to be happy? Are you convinced of them being happy? So in the end, something just about to break through, because the mind doesn't want to believe. How can people be happy? Why are they happy? What are they happy about? Their happiness itself embodied. I can't speak for every single one, but the climate is like this. Why is the climate like that? Why is the Sangha moving in that kind of silent field? Is it because it's a rule? No, because something is dissolving. This kind of hurried state, this vibration, this turbulent tsunami head is falling inside the ocean of your own being. And a silence, are you doing silence? Are you being the self? No, it is self-evident. I am not able to see or perceive anything beyond that. I can see the stillness, but the person I is the one perceiving it. What perceives that? Are you with me when I say that? Because something is comment. I can see the stillness, but the person I is the one perceiving it. What perceives that? That is the person I perceiving that. Is that going too fast? I am not able to go beyond that who is perceiving that and or where it is perceived. Thought. This is getting entangled. Too much thinking, you see, actually. When you become empty, your person is not there anymore. This is why I asked him, you drop everything now, drop it. And what happened? He was able to. Why able to? Why able to? Some other people, I'm trying, I can't. Why so able to do it? To just drop it, meaning leave it aside for now, so that you could experience the natural state of emptiness. Then I ask you, did you create this emptiness? Are you trying to keep the emptiness empty? Are you something in the nothing? So these questions I have to ask to test the discernment, and the more the response comes that no, I am it. It's important that you confirm yourself, that you hear yourself saying this. You see? That you're not just living on my words, you are feeding on your own seeing. Sometimes the perception, the mind has grabbed it early. Then I look and I say, you say, I am not able to see or perceive anything beyond that, meaning I've been listening to your satsang 2 years or more, I definitely ended my suffering. I am not able to see or perceive anything beyond that. Okay, I can see the stillness, but the person I is the one perceiving it. But what watches the person I perceiving that? What name does that go by? So quickly the mind came in and made a commentary about it. Yes, but it's the person I seeing it. And something goes, yeah, it's the person I perceiving it. But is there not an innocent awareness? If I ask you, say, yes, actually, this whole discussion was happening and I was aware of it. Sometimes I have to force you to confess that you are the one who's here, underneath, behind the mind, behind the thought, behind the feeling, behind the movement, behind the breath, behind the life also. That you are there because you are a bit, well, I don't know, the mind. So some have to come challenge. And then you have to admit one day, I am the one, absolutely. Do I have a gun to your head? No, but you are there. Why are you saying you can see all these things? If you are those things, how can you see them? I am not able to go beyond that who is perceiving that and or where it is perceived. Beyond where? Where is left more for you to go? You can only keep seeing, and in your seeing you are confessing it is an object of perception. Can the one who is perceiving the object of perception, can this one be perceived also? I say it again. If everything can be perceived, the most subtle thought, the subtlest perception or feeling, or the movement of emotion, or the sense of time, something is watching all of these things. That which is watching all of those things, can that itself be watched? And if it can, by who? If this question catches hold of you, then I'll tell you, don't worry about any other practice. You solve this one. Because in solving this, you dissolve yourself in this. Is it scary what I'm speaking? Please help me and guide me as I am struggling. Isn't the one who is struggling also watched? Is that which what is struggling, is that struggling? What is so difficult about what I'm speaking? Is it that it's difficult, or that there's some resistance, and the resistance feel like, I don't want to go any further? Isn't that also perceived? At what point will you give up on your seeing? And, oh, it's no good. At what point? Isn't that also seen? If somebody goes, no, it's not working for me, mate, it's not working for me. Is that not also seen? Is that a fact of who you are? Or is it not just a voice coming from a whole habit of speaking? Is that not seen? Okay, I ain't gonna try too hard with you, okay? Thank you, Mooji, and I hope and pray you get this letter and send me a message. Chitra, yes, I just did. This one. Contemplate. What is good about these satsangs is that they are recorded and you can listen again. You can listen. If something feels like, okay, the old satsang, it was okay, but this part, I want to hear this part. Yeah. Play. Pause. Rewind. Play. Listen. Pause. Your sadhana. Okay? This is it. Beloved Master, in December, please listen to this as though it could be your letter. That's the best way I can tell you, is a few words here and just be present with them. Don't waste any time here. Beloved Master, in December 1966, it's okay, 1966. I was 12 years old. In December 1966, things happened in such a way that I started to live like an enlightened one. All the virtues of enlightened one became just natural for me. Nothing could make me sad, and nothing could make me happier than what I was already for no cause. I became awareness, bliss, and peace together while asleep or awake. After living thus for about 2 months, a feeling arose that someone else should also say it. This is when I went to see Osho for the first time. After hearing the whole thing in detail, he said, it was not enlightenment, but the high stage of mind which was rare, not common. Mind is capable of getting one glimpse of truth. Since then, I am with him. I became his initiated disciple in January 1971. In 1984, he declared a list of his enlightened disciples. My name was in the list. After about 6 months, in response to a question by someone, he said that when he declared the list of enlightened ones, few names he declared as a joke also. However, all of you should know that whatever I say is a device. This is apparently Osho's words, okay? However, in those 6 months and even later, many things happened to me. In 1991, I went to Lucknow for 3 days on invitation of a sannyasin friend. Even after knowing from him about Punjaji, I felt no interest in going to him. But then things happened in such a manner that I had to go all 3 days. During second day's satsang, I wrote the following on a piece of paper and passed it on to the next, and it reached him. Beloved Punjaji, I do not know what I should ask you, but I would love to hear you say something for me. Swami Ajeth Bhakti. He asked, who is Swami Bhakti? I raised my right hand a little and I said, Sir. He looked at me for a while and then responded, please do not activate your mind. You are already in a state of no mind. Your work is finished. My congratulations. And I bow down in front of you. Papaji's words, apparently, no? And he bowed down with folded hands, and me too bowed down in the same manner simultaneously. Third day, I was fortunate to meet him one-to-one. My question with you is, what Punjaji might have meant by saying that my work was finished, because I do not feel that my work is finished yet. I would love to be seen by your blessed eyes and love to hear a few blessed words for me. If possible, I may be permitted to see you in person also for 2 minutes. I am leaving immediately after your satsang on 22nd February. What is today? Your own 85 years aged child. And it is written, Swami Ajay Bhakti, and email address. Are you here? The hand is going up. Are you where the hand is? Babaji, would you care to speak to me now? Maybe somebody can provide a chair for him to sit by the microphone for me. Namaste Swamiji, thanks for coming up. Is it okay that we talked a little bit now? Is it okay that we can talk a little? Please sit down and be comfortable. You may sit and be comfortable if you like. There's a chair provided for you. Okay, sir. You're fine? Then please bring the microphone to him for me, please. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you for coming up. And
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. So I read your letter to the Word, and without going over it, can I ask you, as you are here today, in this moment, what do you feel to speak to me about?
What to? Sorry?
What would you care to say something to me concerning this letter, or should I relate to the letter? I prefer to talk to you directly.
I do not feel that I have completed my work, because I reach the point quite often. But sometimes I feel afraid, and sometimes some things disturb, like somebody came and reminding me of some work, so I get disturbed, and sometimes I feel afraid. But I mostly, several times in a month, I reach that point where a jump is needed, but I feel afraid there.
I don't know if I heard the last sentence that you made. I don't know if I heard properly the last sentence that you made, but you say, I'm gathering from you that you feel that from time to time your mind gets a bit disturbed by something, or maybe you feel some fear about something. Yeah. So you're taking that if you were in your enlightened state, you would not have these fears. Is that so?
In 1966, I was feeling absolutely enlightened. Consciousness, peace, and bliss all the time, even while asleep. And I was enjoying it tremendously. But after 2 months, it came to my mind that somebody else should say this thing. At that time, when I went to Osho, he said that this is the highest stage of mind, which is rare, it is not common, but it is not that. It is not enlightenment. So since then I am working, and I am in good state.
Did Oshoji explain, having said that's the highest state of mind, but it's not enlightenment, did he go on to say what is enlightenment? Did you care to ask him?
I was feeling bliss over here.
Yes.
If there is one government for the whole world, and I am made head of it, it won't increase even by a drop. And if whole world gets destroyed, comes to ashes, then it will not reduce, because I see nothing dies. Yeah. So he said here, this bliss also does not remain. It becomes emptiness. In the case of enlightenment, it is empty, absolute emptiness. He showed that.
Yes.
Just, I came from Amritsar 3 days back. There, without any reason, just, I was lying down, I just went to bed to sleep. And from my navel center to my head, quite suddenly, the whole thing became a light. no legs, nothing at all. I was just watching it, and then after I enjoyed it for some time, but then I felt afraid, then the position disturbed. 2 months back, I was in Rajgir, where Mahavir had left the body. I went there. As soon as I entered the place, automatically my eyes closed and my hands became like this, standing, and the whole body was like a bag of skin, and inside there was no bone, no nothing, only light, whole light. But actually it was not conducting meditation camp. Meditation camp was conducted by somebody else. So she touched my hands and reminded me of evening satsang getting late. But I was not feeling like coming out. Again after a few minutes she touched, then also I did not come out. Then I remembered that the whole satsang must be getting late of many people. So I deep breathe for 20 minutes, 25 times, and then I came out. Otherwise I wanted to remain in that state as long as it remains.
But you realized that it was a state also.
Yes.
And that you were perceiving that state. While the experience of this, whatever it is, there is awareness that there is an experience of something is happening here.
I could not perceive, sir.
Okay.
It simply happened.
Yes.
I couldn't perceive. How could I perceive this thing?
Well, you do.
Yeah.
Because you can speak about it. You are aware that this thing is taking place.
Right, sir.
So this is an important question for me, you see. Because if, this thing is taking place and you are not aware, then you're not aware, you could not speak about it. Maybe somebody else would tell you, Swamiji, you were like this and on fire. And you say, well, I don't remember it. But while it is happening, something, whatever it is, if somehow the world was disappear, the bodies disappear, still something witness it. It is witness, you see? Now, I am coming to that witnessing capacity. So the witnessing of that took place because it was an experience that at the beginning and also an end. You see? The awareness was itself not touched. Out of the awareness arose this experience, and the apparent one experiencing it, you can say like that. But from the perspective, from the standpoint of pure awareness, it was simply another happening. Maybe regarded as a very auspicious, a very divine happening or something, but it was a happening. It happened in time and space. It happened and it ended. The thing that remained, that caused the witnessing of this experience to be registered, was that an happening? You follow? I can say again. That the awareness background that enabled this experience to take place, which began and ended, and was witnessed to have occurred and came to an end, okay? Can that awareness testify that anything happened to it itself? Because this is what it was pointed to you, you see, when Oshoji said to you, it will be of the highest state of the mind. No? But at the same time, even the bliss, though it happened as bliss, if the bliss ended also, then it's saying that that was also an experience. The bliss must itself subside into pure awareness where nothing is particularly held that something happened. You see? Now, I am not arguing that because I am feeling that everything is in its right place except perhaps the interpretation or the belief, something needs to happen. I am not yet done. My work is not yet done. Is coming to something, a belief that there is some unfinished business that remains to be done before enlightenment is complete. But that thought is also observable from the place of the awareness itself, which is the constant in you, your constant space. As soon as that is recognized, that thought or any other thought that may come, if the thought come and is not believed in, that thought does not register in consciousness as something that needs to be taken up. So not just the coming of the thought, the belief that this thought indicates that enlightenment is not complete, is believed, is then believed into existence and becomes an experience that keeps reminding you, my work is not yet done. From the place of awareness, awareness has nothing to achieve. If it is recognized by you that the only stable principle here is the awareness, and the idea that there is someone whose work is not finished only continues because there's a belief that that thought, my work is not yet done, is believed in, and that is eclipsing the intuitive realization that you are the awareness itself, which has no work to do to be what it is. Did you follow or not?
Yes, sir.
So I don't want to say, oh, but the awareness, the work is not yet done. My thinking is not working like that. I am saying you are the awareness itself. Okay. The belief my work is not yet done is a lesser thing for me. Because that belief, my work is not yet done, is as though that is standing, as though it is blocking the awareness of the self. But that blocking the awareness is itself a delusion. It is not true. You are choicelessly that pure awareness self.
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
So for me, the statement, it is not yet finished and so on, that may have been applicable more those years back in 1966 or whatever it is, or 1980, whatever. Those words may have been true because perhaps then there was still a presiding belief that, yes, I want to know if I am yet finished, and maybe that I feeling in you was more virile and could not be tackled, and this I was believing I am awake. So the belief of an I that I'm awake is not the awakening. Now I don't see an impediment apart from, I would say, this idea, my work is not yet finished, should be seen as nothing other than an idea that my work is not yet finished, watched from the place of awareness, which is without finishing and ending.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
It is simple like that. Yeah. Because if that is not grasped, it's going to leave a very big thing, like there's an I who still, after all these years, my work is not yet done. Yeah. That is a very difficult and mischievous thought to hold on to. Okay, I can only perceive you as you are that awareness itself. You were there, you were that awareness in 1966.
Correct, sir.
But you were not convinced of it, you see? In fact, all the things you say that these things happen, yes, they happened. The things by themselves does not indicate that's what enlightenment is. Enlightenment is a total cessation of any thought that feels, yes, I am not yet done, I still have a work to be done. And at the same time, if there is still a sense of a person believing that, then that personal belief will then be told, yes, of course your work is not yet done because of the conviction of yourself as a person who feels my work is not yet done. But I'm looking at all of this over all these years, and now I'm saying, but sir, what work is to be done?
My work is not done is the later realization. In those days, I was absolutely aware that I am enlightened. Yes. And all the symptoms were there. I was sleeping, but I felt as if I was awake, did not sleep.
Yes, but those things are happening also to a number of people also.
Yeah. Okay.
My feeling is that okay. the feeling, okay. I am awakened, I would like to look at that just for a minute.
Yes.
The feeling I felt I am awake.
Yeah.
This feeling of the I who feels that I am awake is attracting my attention, you see. If there's an I that feels, I who am awake. I who am awake. In the perfect state, actually, there is just a seeing that even the sense of awakening is not a big deal as a concept.
So,
You see, it's just that I am awake, I have work to be done, all these things have fallen away in the absolute silence and emptiness of the unachievable awareness that you already are. Any sense of somebody achieving that is itself a delusion. The one who was searching no more exists. That trouble is just kind of over. There's no one there to declare the trouble is over. Because then you retain an identity of the one who is witnessing the trouble is over.
so one
Yeah.
thing I'd like to tell.
Yes, please.
I was not expecting it. What happened? I saw two sparrows hopping on the road, and I felt that they are very beautiful. Then it came to my mind that their feather and all is not that beautiful, they are ugly. If I get all the birds of the world together, then it will need a long hall, and it became hall. That was the time when whatever was coming to my mind, it was actualized. I was seeing it happening. So, when the birds were in a big hall, I had the key. I entered the hall, and first cage I saw, immediately somebody from my inside guides that it is not you. You are not that hard. You love freedom, and if you go 3-4 cages, then you will go mad. Then I wanted.
Sorry, if you go three or four what?
Sir, then I wanted all the birds to be freed, and they were freed. Then a question came to my mind that who is inside me who always comes like a good friend, he gives right suggestion. Only by asking this, I went in that stage where I felt I am that.
At a certain point,
Because I was not expecting, I was not knowing what is meditation, I had never heard the name, I was not knowing what is enlightenment, but
Yeah.
it so happened, yes. Sir.
Yes, yes,
So
I
we have-
accept this thing.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it becomes clear that the functioning of perception
Yeah.
belongs to the realm of relativity.
Right.
It becomes clear.
Okay, sir.
You are at the place of zero. And witnessing of the world of names and forms and actions and so on, it's just happening by itself. Witnessing of that's happening by itself, but it is not consequential to you, the witness, in a deep way. The sense of the person may come and go, and is witnessed to come and go. Then would arise the urge, for whom is the person coming and going, you see? Yes. Then that invites an introspection to see who is interested in coming and going. Then even this question will burn any remaining sort of troublesome dualistic play. And it is not the fact that you see something or even that you feel pain or something. You understand that that is inside the dynamic functioning of the realm in which I say inside the theater of consciousness, where the action and the display of the dualistic functioning of consciousness is watched. You have a sense that you are there also, but you are there in a way that's not as profound as you are just the awareness itself.
Yes, sir.
It's like you are the awareness, you are the absolute and the relative.
Correct, sir.
But the relative is time-bound,
Correct, sir.
and that is watched from the absoluteness.
Right, sir.
And thereafter, there's nothing more to calculate. Everything is naturally functioning.
Okay.
The functioning of perception and the perceiving or the observing of the functioning of perception is happening very naturally for you.
Yes.
There's nothing to really, that's just the way of things. That's all I would want to say to you. And I don't want to tell you, oh, your work is not done. I would want to say, whose work is not done? Whose work is done or not done is more a kind of, I'd put that to be a modification in the mind or of consciousness, a belief that if believed in, it begins to yield fruit, and the fruit of that belief is doubt. You see?
Okay.
And doubt or belief are also a play inside the theater of consciousness. From the absolute standpoint, there is not any particular interest in them, not too much importance is given to that. But while you have a body, and the vital force or the vital breath, which is the animating force of the universe, is still functioning in it, and consciousness is there, the potential for thought activity is present, you, the awareness, is not concerned that much about it. Okay. You see that life takes care of life, everything is unfolding as it should.
Okay, sir.
You are not so deeply tied up in that matter.
Okay, sir.
I feel a joy in telling you that, in sharing
sir.
that
Yes.
with you.
Right,
see?
sir.
Yeah. It would be happy for me that not just that you drop this idea, but you drop the idea of the one dropping it also.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
If you understand. I hope these things don't sound too complicated, because in the actuality of them, it is, you are the self. I cannot see you other than the self. Yeah. Sometimes I say you are the self with a belief that you are not the self. Then this belief you're not the self should dissipate. But don't remain as the one who dissipated it. Nothing is just nothing at all.
Listening to you, my head is getting cool.
What happened?
My head is getting cool. I'm feeling cool.
Cool, yes.
By
yes.
listening to you, yeah.
Yes. It's just a sensation.
Okay, sir. I'm very thankful to you.
Thank you.
And I offer my salutations to you for looking at me with such loving and blessed and compassionate eyes. And I salute all your audience, especially those who are volunteers.
Yes.
They are managing such a huge gathering with so much love. With so much love, care and respect that I salute them especially. And I wish good luck to everybody here.
Thank you.
Okay, sir?
Thank you. You may continue sitting there if it pleases you, because we are coming now to an end. You may continue to sit there, Swamiji. You can sit there, please. It is always for me an honor to be in the company of anyone whose eyes have seen Papaji and Oshoji. Thank you. We'll finish today like this and ask if someone who is going to come and, I believe Radhaji will come and sing something.
हे Gopala, Hari Narayana, बांसुरी बजाए मोरे नंदलाल, बांसुरी बजाए मोरे नंदलाल, हे गोविंदा हरि नारायण, हे गोपाला हरि नारायण, बांसुरी बजाए मोरे नंदलाल, बांसुरी बजाए मोरे नंदलाल, हे गोविंदा हरि नारायण, हे गोपाला हरि नारायण, मन मोहना गोविंदा, 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 हे गोविंदा हरि नारायण, हे गोपाला हरि नारायण, बांसुरी बजाए मोरे नंदलाल, बांसुरी बजाए मोरे नंदलाल, हे गोविंदा हरि नारायण, हे गोपाला हरि नारायण, Hari Narayana Hari Narayana.
Read a few verses, just a few verses, because it's a longer chapter, just a few verses from the Ashtavakra Gita. This one is entitled Awareness. So it begins like this. The sage is saying, "Yesterday I lived bewildered in illusion, but now I am awake, flawless and serene, beyond the world. From my light, the body and the world arise. So all things are mine, or nothing is. Now I have given up the body and the world. I have a special gift. I see the infinite self. As a wave seething and foaming is only water, so all creation streaming out of the self is only the self. Consider a piece of cloth. It is only threads. So all creation, when you look closely, is only the self. Like the sugar in the juice of the sugar cane, I am the sweetness in everything I have made. When the self is unknown, the world arises, not when it is known. But you mistake the rope for the snake. When you see the rope, the snake vanishes. My nature is light, nothing but light. When the world arises, I alone am shining. When the world arises in me, it is just an illusion. Water shimmering in the sun, a vein of silver in mother of pearl, a serpent in a strand of rope. From me the world streams out, and in me it dissolves, as a bracelet melts into gold, or a pot crumbles into clay, or a wave subsides into water. I adore myself. How wonderful I am. I can never die. The whole world may perish, from Brahma to a blade of grass, but I am still here. Indeed, how wonderful. I adore myself, for I have taken form, but I am still one. Neither coming or going, yet I am still everywhere. How wonderful and how great my powers. For I am without form, yet till the end of time I uphold the universe. Wonderful, for nothing is mine, and yet it is all mine, whatever is thought or spoken. I am not the knower, nor the known, nor the knowing. These three are not real. They only seem to be when I am not known. But I am flawless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Guruji. So beautiful, so beautiful. May the final knowledge be.
Good to see you, brother. I hope you're still playing.
Yes, I'll talk with her. Maybe she has space. And I would love it. Thank you.